All right, so hereby call this meeting of the Henry County School Board to order. Mrs. Ramey, if you would, with the roll call.
Mr. Ocker.
Here.
Mrs. Durden.
Here.
Mrs. Flanagan.
Here.
Mr. Gravely.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Here.
Ms. Whitlow. Here. And Mr. Zaire. I'm sorry. Mr. Hardy.
All right. So I believe the first thing we'll need to do is to allow for Mrs. Whitlow's virtual participation due to an unforeseen work conflict. Ms. Whitlow is requested to join the meeting virtually. May I have a motion to allow for the participation of Mrs. Whitlow?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Flanagan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Alker. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay. I was getting ready to say abstain. No. Okay. So unanimous. All right. Next item on the agenda would be the approval of the agenda. So do I have a motion to approve the agenda or any?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Alker, second by Mrs. Flanagan. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay. Mrs. Whitlow approves, so we're unanimous. All right. Welcome our visitors this evening. Happy to have you all out here. Our next item would be invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. Mr. Gravely, if you would, the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and you may be seated. All right. Next item is matters from the public for public comment. I do not believe anyone signed up to speak, whether that be ahead or this evening. So we will move on to awards and recognitions. And due to our student board members having some very valid reasons to not be here, Dr. Blake Lewis will be our presenter.
Good evening, Chairman Martin, Vice Chairman Gravely, members of the board. I am filling in for Krishna and Lakin this evening. Lakin was a little under the weather, and Krishna is attending an SAT prep course. So we wish her well in that endeavor, and we wish a speedy recovery to Lakin. I do have one student recognition this evening. If Mr. Isaac Rogers is present. He is not, but we will go ahead and read that recognition. This is for Piedmont District 2nd Team All District. Isaac is a student at Bassett High School. The School Board of Henry County honors your golf 2nd Team All District achievement on this 5th day of October 2023. So congratulations to Isaac Rogers. The next awards that I have are from the VSBA for our school board members. So when I call your name, board members, if you would maybe just come forward and line up across the stage so that we can maybe get a photo of you with your awards. Let me get that information. The Virginia School Boards Association recognizes board members for their dedication, time, and hard work in improving boardsmanship skills through VSBA meetings, conferences, board development and training, and active involvement in the association. VSBA members earn credits for VSBA Academy Awards, which are based on participation from July 1 to June 30th of each year. There are 5 levels of awards with certificates and pins awarded for particular levels. The VSBA Academy Awards are presented annually to the school board members who meet the requirements. The first level is an award of recognition for 15 credits during the year. An award of achievement for 24 credits is a certificate and bronze pin. An award of excellence for 48 credits is a certificate and silver pin. An award of honor, 66 credits with a gold pin. An award of distinction, 84 credits with a starfish pin. So at this time I will read some of the awards. The first is an award of recognition for Mr. Champ Hardy. Yes, sir. Thank you. We also have an award of recognition for Miss Sherry Whitlow, an award of recognition for Mr. Thomas Alker. The next award is an award of achievement to Vice Chairman Ben Gravely, and this is a bronze pen award. We also have an award of achievement bronze pen award for Miss Elizabeth Durden. And then we have an award of distinction to Chairman Mr. Teddy Martin, and this is a Starfish Pen Award. Board members, if you would just pause, we have a camera real quick.
We'll go from 0 to 7 real fast.
We're gonna get your best meme mug, right? Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, and we are next up to Bullying Prevention Month.
And I'm doing that as well. The month of October is designated as Bullying Prevention Month. So I do have a resolution from the Virginia School Boards Association. And as I read the resolution, you will see various communications that Henry County Public Schools will be sending out through Parent Square this month. And we will also be communicating this in our school buildings as well. So from the Virginia School Board Association Board of Directors proclamation. Whereas school bullying has become an increasingly significant problem in the United States and Virginia, and whereas over 20% of the youth in the United States are estimated to be involved in bullying each year, either as a bully or as a victim, and whereas an estimated 160,000 students in kindergarten through 12th grade miss school every day due to a fear of being bullied, whereas bullying can take many forms, including verbal, physical, and most recently in cyberspace, and can happen in many places on and off school grounds. Whereas it is important to Virginia parents, students, teachers, and school administrators to be aware of bullying and to encourage discussion of the problem as a school community. And whereas the VSBA has developed model policies to encourage positive behaviors and to eliminate bullying behaviors. Now, therefore, the Virginia School Boards Association recognizes the month of October 2023 as VSBA Bullying Prevention Month, with the intention that the issue of bullying and its prevention be discussed in Virginia schools and classrooms during that time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right. And see, you did a great job. Didn't have to worry about that. So next up, we are to the information agenda, the first item of which is the proposed school board policy for the use of metal detectors. Dr. Boone.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The proposed policy reflects efforts to enhance safety in our division by the use of metal detectors. For the public, policies may be found in board docs under draft policies. This policy indicates the procedures for the use of metal detectors. We will be reviewing this draft policy in depth at the school board retreat tomorrow. There is no administrative recommendation at this time, and we will bring this draft policy back to the board for approval in November. For the fiscal impact, I've listed approximately $5,000 for supplies. This would include tables, tubs for belongings as they're passing through the metal detectors. Also, we're looking at like bank line materials for the lines in the lobby. I do want to indicate that the metal detectors did cost approximately $75,000. That was out of FY23 funds in June of 2023. The initial rollout will be mid-November with winter sports. I also want to just note that there's been continuous collaboration with school principals in regard to planning and training, and this has been taking place over the past 2 or 3 months. It will continue on into November. Also, the procedures set forth in this policy have been a team effort of not only school staff, but the Henry County Sheriff's Office, as well as our school board attorney, as well as the Commonwealth Attorney's Office for Henry County. At this time, I can answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions, comments from the board?
This is just for the high schools right now, correct? Or
For
high-
middle school and high
Middle
school.
and high,
Yes,
right?
sir.
That's what, okay. And the 75,000 for all, okay.
Right.
I know we'll get into details tomorrow, but I'm just, okay.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Not seeing any. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then the next item is the lovely topic of the moment, artificial intelligence and machine learning update.
Good evening, Chairman Martin and members of the board. Thank you for allowing me to come to you to address the stance of Henry County Public Schools as we navigate how artificial intelligence, commonly known as AI, and machine learning are used in Henry County schools. Even though most people have heard of the term AI, they may not be familiar with what this technology is and how it is used. Most people use AI when they're talking to Alexa or Siri, or if they're using it for navigation or keeping up with their daily activities on their smartwatches, or even when they're searching for answers on Google. AI has made tremendous advancements in medicine, business, entertainment, and other career sectors, and it will only continue to increase in the future. We have only begun to understand the potential of this technology to bring new learning experiences into the classroom. Before going on, I would like to take a few minutes to share a quick video that better explains what AI and machine learning are.
What is artificial intelligence? Before we answer that, let's look at these terms individually. What do you understand by the term artificial? Well, it can be anything that is made by humans, things that are not natural. And what do you understand by intelligence? It is the ability to understand, think, and learn. So what do we get when we combine these two together? Artificial intelligence is a broad area of computer science that makes machines seem like they have human intelligence. The goal of AI is to mimic the human brain and create systems that can function intelligently and independently. They say that the age of AI is here, but then you might be wondering, why don't you see flying cars or robotic maids bringing you lunch? Why doesn't your life look more like the Jetsons? Well, for starters, that's a cartoon, and when it comes to AI, a robot is nothing more than a shell concealing what's actually used to power the technology. AI can manifest itself in many different ways. If you have ever asked Alexa to order your food or browse Netflix movie suggestions, you are actually interacting with AI without realizing it. And that's kind of the point. AI is designed so you do not realize that there is a machine calling the shots. In the near future, AI is expected to become a little less artificial and a lot more intelligent. As AI becomes more intelligent, it will obviously take on the role of an intelligent worker. While most of the repetitive and largely time-oriented tasks can be automated using AI, we will still need human experts who can build and maintain these synthetic bots and work on strategic and creative aspects of a job. So in conclusion, AI is a boon that can help optimize any job. This means that, as always, it's not AI versus humans. Rather, it is a combination of humans and AI versus the actual problem statement. So what are you waiting for? Pull up your socks and get ready to be a part of this AI revolution. Start learning this trending technology using.
So when we use AI appropriately, there are some definite strengths that it has for our classrooms and our schools. First of all, students now have access to vast amounts of information. This can be very helpful when students want to research a specific topic or have questions about what they are learning. 2, students now have access to websites such as Khan Academy and language learning apps such as Duolingo that help personalize learning experiences by analyzing students' previous interactions and providing tailored responses and recommendations to help them learn. If a student is struggling with a question or a concept, they can ask AI and receive a response that emulates a personalized tutor. AI is available 24/7, which means students can access it at any time. This can be especially helpful for students who are working on projects and assignments outside of normal school hours. Teachers are using AI to help increase student engagement and by providing interactive experiences. Some teachers are using AI to create questions for Kahoot and other assessments to measure learning, while still other teachers are using AI to level text for students. AI can be used to help educators make learning more accessible for all students. This technology also helps educators save time and resources by automating routine tasks such as grading and data analysis. Every day there are new advances in AI to open up new possibilities for student learning and teacher support. But of course, with all the benefits, there are some challenges associated with AI and machine learning. Although AI can provide helpful responses and recommendations, it cannot replace the benefits of human interaction, emotional support, and the motivation that our teachers can provide. All stakeholders need to share in the responsibility to teach children about how the lack of a moral compass affects others, so students can identify and fully understand the limitations of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence's responses are based solely on words that it has been trained on and the algorithms that it uses, which means it may not always understand the context of a question or a prompt. This can lead to misleading or irrelevant responses, so students need to be aware of this and be able to sort bad information from good information. AI can provide information and explanations, but it may not effectively teach a complex content or concept. Responses from data are only as good as the data the AI system has been trained on, so very new information may not be up to date, and it would need to be vetted for accuracy by teachers. AI relies on massive amounts of data. If sensitive data are accessed by unauthorized individuals or entities, it can pose a risk to personal information. Knowing this, our technology department has enacted several firewalls and safety protocols for security of our students and staff. Our schools have an opportunity to utilize artificial intelligence and machine learning to help students by providing interactive reading experiences, assisting students in writing by providing feedback on grammar, syntax, and word choice, creating text on various levels that could help students understand advanced concepts, providing realistic examples of scientific phenomena, supporting math students by providing step-by-step problem-solving instruction and explanations, creating opportunities for students to interact with historical or literary figures through written responses or videos. As AI and machine learning advances, it will only take the imagination of our teachers to figure out new and exciting and engaging ways to incorporate it into classes to improve the learning experiences for our students. The VDOE is working on releasing information to our schools in the upcoming weeks. They hope to provide schools with uniform standards as far as AI use goes. The VDOE is scheduled to release the 2024 computer science standards in January. These standards will incorporate the criteria for artificial intelligence and machine learning that all K-8 teachers will be required to include in their core curriculum. The VDOE is also investigating innovative ways to use AI for personal tutoring. More information about that will be provided through the State Superintendent's weekly newsletter updates. Lastly, the VDOE supports programming that ensures students are prepared for future careers involving AI technologies, and will continue to provide updates and curriculum embedded in the computer science standards, CTE pathways, and revisions to the industry-recognized credentials. As always, Henry County Public Schools is committed to working with all stakeholders to explore what does deeper learning, student engagement, and authentic assessment look like in the age of AI. We welcome any input from our board members and determining our next steps, as we are committed to inspiring students and providing them with meaningful educational experiences that prepare them for a successful future that includes appropriate and responsible use of AI. I've included some resources in here for you to check out later if you would like. Are there any questions?
Any questions or comments from the board?
Well, no question, but a comment.
Yeah.
And I guess, because I know last month brought this up with policies and how we're going to address this. It's here. It's here. Over the last several weeks, I had the opportunity to sit in on a couple of conferences through NSBA and then VSBA, and part of the conversation was AI and how are we going to incorporate this into our schools. And note what I said, incorporate it into our schools. We cannot push it aside. And you know, if we want our students to be just as competitive as other students. So I'm glad that we are in the ballpark. Still a lot of work to do to figure this out, but I'm pleased with where we are, you know, and watching this, and it's good. A lot of information, though. A lot of information.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Okay. My only will be, I thought it was an excellent presentation, to echo Mr. Gravely on that. The only thing I will say, while the Jetsons may be a cartoon, I would take their success rate of projections 50 years ahead pretty well, other than the flying car. Other than that, they did pretty well. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, I had that comment too. I wrote it
See?
down.
Look.
We are going to be the Jetsons.
Yeah, telehealth, this, that. All right, so the next item we have is the consent agenda. So does anyone want to approve as a block or pull anything out separately? It's up to you all. Motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Flanagan to adopt as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hardy. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Mr. Butler, yes. Okay, unanimous. Thank you very much. We are up to superintendent's reports. Dr. Blake Lewis, you're back up.
So good evening again. If you are looking at the link with the superintendent's monthly highlights, we were able to get all of our advisory cabinet groups up and running this month. So I have met with student advisory, parent advisory, support staff advisory, and teacher advisory groups. So I've dropped in a few photos there for the board, but these will be quarterly face-to-face meetings, and then in between we're going to do some virtual meetings and keeping in touch with some shared Google Docs. So we are working from a problem-solving stance with all of these groups. Lots of times some of these advisory groups become a complaint session and we really don't get past the problem. But I've asked all of these folks participating this year to be problem solvers and solution finders. And so we are attacking many problems from that stance of, you know, you can identify a problem, but you've also got to identify a potential solution. And so we are working through lots of things that these particular groups have raised as a concern. In particular, the teacher advisory group is going to be giving me some feedback on the All in Virginia initiative from Governor Youngkin and how we're going to address those issues of the tutoring, the literacy piece, and the chronic absenteeism. So I'm looking forward to working with that great group of teachers with that. As far as a month at a glance, we've already talked a little bit about National Bullying Prevention Month. I've also added a link here for you all to review those items that we will be using to communicate throughout the month. October 11th is the Region 6 Superintendent's Meeting, so I will be attending that in Franklin County on that day. And on October 12th, I will be the keynote speaker at the Farm Bureau annual meeting. So if you're available and would like to come out for that, it will be at our Career Academy this year. And I've been asked to give that keynote. On October 18th, if you're available for lunch, we are going to be doing a division office chili cook-off, just as a way of kind of building our camaraderie and our team here at the division level. So each department is going to submit a chili, a crock pot of chili, and we will all partake and then judge the chili. So if you're available and would like to come have lunch with us on that day, please stop by and enjoy the chili, and maybe bring a bottle of Tums with you. I don't know. But no, we'll have a good time, and that will be from 12 to 1, the lunch hour. October 20th, just want to remind everyone that is the Smith River Classic, Magna Vista High School versus Bassett, and Bassett will be hosting that event this year, so please mark your calendars. I understand you need to be there early to get a seat, so that will be October 20th. Also observed in October is Red Ribbon Week. That is the last week of the month, October 23rd through the 31st, and our schools will be hosting some special activities that week to promote a drug-free lifestyle. So be sure that you stop into some of our schools that week and maybe participate in some of those Red Ribbon Week activities. I do have some survey results linked here from all of my community meetings that we had through August and September. I will be going over these during a lunch and learn session with you all tomorrow during our retreat, but the results are linked here if you wanted to just take a quick look at those. And then just as a reminder, I will be attending the VASS conference in Richmond, Virginia on the 29th through the 31st, and then some of us will be together at the VSBA annual convention November 15th through the 17th. So just a couple more things. I've got my sticky note highlight here as well. If you are planning to attend the dinner on November 15th as part of that VSBA conference, please see Ms. Ramey tonight so that she can make sure that our reservation number is correct. And then for tomorrow, if you are needing some breakfast before we get started at 9, we will have breakfast ready at 8:30. So please arrive if you're wanting breakfast at 8:30, and we'll do a 9 o'clock start time for the retreat. Thank you.
Thank you. I know one thing, I don't need to do any reminders of dates now. You nailed that. All right. So, matters from the board. So I'm gonna, since we don't have the student board members now, I will say, Vice Chairman Gravely, do you want to kick off, or do you want me to put it down to Mr. Hardy?
Well, I really don't have anything per se. Just a reminder of the board members, I gave you a document just to cruise through. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, but that's about it.
All right, so that's your board matters?
That's my board matters.
All right, then we'll continue down the line. Mrs. Flannery.
I don't have anything tonight.
All right, Mr. Alker.
I have one thing that I'd like to say, and I'd like to thank Keith Scott for getting in the portable air conditioners at Bassett High School. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
That done?
Sure.
All right. Mrs. Whitlow. I know it might be a little difficult to do virtually, but.
She's thankful for the middle district.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That concludes that for Mrs. Whitlow.
Anything else?
Okay. Mrs. Durden.
I do not have anything.
All right. Mr. Hardy.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, thank you. First, I want to start out with a couple of future thank yous. The Rich Acres Christian Church will park cars and host a festival at Rich Acres Elementary School on Saturday, October the 14th. Number 2, on Friday, October the 27th, the Ridgeway First Baptist Church will prepare a spaghetti dinner for the Magna Vista High School football team. By the way, this is homecoming night at Magna Vista, and as a side note, the Warriors are undefeated at this point. I would also like to mention that the Old Dominion Agriculture Complex in Chadron recently sponsored Career Days on September the 27th and the 28th. Over 70 plus careers were highlighted. I enjoyed walking around with the students from Magna Vista as they participated in many hands-on activities. The swimming program started for first graders at the YMCA this past Monday. I think this is a wonderful program. I enjoyed watching the Y staff teaching our students from Drury Mason Elementary basic swimming principles. On Tuesday of this week, I enjoyed the after-school program at Laurel Park Middle School. On this day, and keep in mind this was after school, Regina Flora, the Dan River Basin Association, presented a very educational program on the students testing the pH of soil and water. Also, afterwards, the PTO at Laurel Park Middle met and planned many activities for the students and teachers for this school year. Many thanks to all the PTOs in our system. And the last thing I got to say is very, very dear to my heart. As most of you know, the month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is so unfortunately that thousands of ladies in the United States and in other countries, as well as some men, are infected with this terrible disease each year. It is great to see many of our schools during the month of October doing activities in support of breast cancer awareness. I know tomorrow night at the football game, Bassett High School is encouraging the fans to wear pink to the game. I know other schools will be doing activities in October in support of breast cancer awareness. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. I'm going to keep mine very short as well, although I'm glad, Dr. Blake Lewis, you prefaced about the student board members, because otherwise I thought I would have scared them off last month after I said we were going to give them additional assignments. But and I will say, you, like you said, you did an excellent job with the various dates reminders. The one thing I do know that Chairman Milner would have gotten on me for not reminding you is to sign up for the 5K in Williamsburg, because somebody from us represents us every year, even if that's me. And I don't think you want me to be the only representative. I think Mr. Hardy could beat me. A few of you could beat me, so that just, you might want to throw that out there. I know it's been a very busy month. It's a very busy month to come. I want to say how much I appreciate each of you for visiting the schools, these events, the community meetings. Dr. Blake Lewis, and she's seemingly everywhere. In about 2 seconds flat. See, hey, you can do the 5K. Come on now.
Yes.
There we go. And then I also wanted to mention, Mr. Hardy attended the Legislative Advocacy Conference. I went with him. I also attended the COSBA Advocacy Conference. So got to meet with quite a few of our legislators and state and federal representatives. So at least I feel we're heard. Now, whether you can joke about my timing as to whether being right in front of the shutdown was a possibility, was great or not. While distracted, but just wanted to mention those things. Thank everybody for all they're doing, and yes, Mr. Alker, thank you for and Mr. Scott and everyone for the movement at Bassett as far as the AC, and even I'm hearing positive things on the road being corrected here soon, so it's good to hear. But with that, I finish up my part. Thank you very much, and you've already handled the reminder of date, so I think we're good there. So we're up to closed session. So the one item that we have facing us is 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia for the discussion of appointments and separations of personnel. Do I have a motion from anyone to go into closed session for that effect?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Alker. Do I have a second? Second by Mrs. Flanagan. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Put those a yes. We are unanimous, and we will be enclosed here, I believe.